Hey everyone, Arjun here, back with another video. And in this video, we have this Nintendo Wii here. So the thing is, this Nintendo Wii works great. I mean, there's no problems at all with this. The This Wii is able to load the Wii games off from the USB drive using USB loader GX. So since this Wii is soft modded at some point, and yeah, I mean this thing works great, but there's a bit of a problem with the disk drive. So the disk drive is not able to read the disk. I mean, even if I insert the burned DVDs or the official Wii games, the disk drive is not able to read any of my discs. Even if I use the official Super Mario Galaxy game or Super Mario Galaxy 2 or the Mario Kart Wii game, none of these games works with this disk drive. So I think the disk drive laser might be faulty or might be something else. So today in this video, we're gonna take this thing apart and try to fix that issue by cleaning everything up. So as I can see, um, this Wii is pretty much messed up. I mean, there is no dust on the GameCube ports at all. There is a bit of a dust clogged up right over here, over here in this vents, and I hope that this drive might be struggling to read the discs with the help of that dust which is built up inside of it. So in this video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this thing apart and try to clean that laser and also each and everything, and just to make sure that everything works great. So, and also this one came with an SD card, so make sure that you don't have SD card while you're doing this process. So yeah, anyways, but first let me go ahead and plug this thing in, and let me just show you the behavior of this disk drive. Alright guys, I'm back with my official copy of Super Mario Galaxy here. So let me go ahead and let me just show you how does it sounds like when I insert the disc into this Nintendo Wii. So here we go. So here we go. So as you guys can hear that, the disc is not at all spinning. So you can see it takes the disc in, locks it into place, but there's no response on the spindle motor. So the disc won't spin at all. So there might be something wrong going on with this. Let me go ahead and check that. Put it back in again. All right, so that doesn't sound good. So all right, so anyways, let me go ahead and take that disc out, turn this thing off, and take this thing apart, and let's see what's going on with this disk drive. All right, so here is the Nintendo Wii. So, and also I have my toolkit here. So let me go ahead and just start off by removing the faceplate first of all. But okay, so let's start off from here. Let's remove that CMOS battery. Alright, so remove that screw. We need a this small bit Phillips head screwdriver here. So let's go ahead and remove that. There we go. Once we got that grip, just turn it. Oh my god. Alright, comes off nice and easy. So this is the CMOS battery right here. So I think we have to replace this battery as well, but I guess this battery still works. So let's go ahead and check. We will check its voltage rating when we get to that, when we diagnose that disk drive. Alright, so let me go ahead and put this thing aside. Alright, so once this one is off, let's go ahead and start off by removing the faceplate. So this needs a tri-wing. Let's see, where's the tri-wing bit? It has to be here somewhere. Okay, I think I found it. Let me see if this thing works. Kind of, but still. Let me try this one. Alright, this one fits perfectly, but this one also fits perfectly. So in that case, let's go ahead and remove this. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we got this screw off for the faceplate. Alright, so I'm gonna fast forward from here. I'm gonna stay quiet. Alright, so at this point, you guys can see I did try to remove this one first. In order to get to that faceplate, we have to remove this top cover first of all, and then I guess we can lift up the faceplate just like that. But do be careful. There's a small connector holding onto it. Okay, so there's another last screw right here. I believe this is a tri-wing. I think this might be a very small tri-wing. Okay, it doesn't fit. Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward again from here. Alright, so I guess we can lift up this faceplate. Be careful, there's a small connector connected to this this thing right here. So first of all, we have to remove this. But let me grab my tweezers first. I'll be right back when I get the tweezers for this one. Alright, I'm back with my tweezers now. So now let me go ahead and disconnect that little thing right here. Okay, so okay, so that's in there good. So it's pretty solid. So in order to disconnect that, we have to be so gentle with this. So alright, so this thing is pretty solid. So now we gotta have to need a better tweezers for this one, because this is pretty much so solid in there. Oh, let me go ahead and lie this thing down flat like this. So I'm gonna fast forward from here. So I'm gonna get this thing disconnected as soon as possible. All right, so it's very hard. It's so hard to get this thing out from its connector. It's pretty solid in there. This is going to take too long. I have no idea what to do. I don't have a kind of tool that can, get this thing out. So I'm wondering maybe if I can. There might be a chance for me to break this connector. So I'm trying to be so careful with this one. So let me try something else. Let me use a bit of a metal to get a nice grip onto that connector. Okay, so there we go. Okay, I got it disconnected now. So yeah, now with this thing out of its place. So now let's go ahead and disassemble the rest of the console. All right. So finally. Alright, so I'm gonna fast forward by removing all the screws over here, and then once I got all of them out, then I'll be right back. Alright, so all the screws are out. I'm just trying to lift up this case. Oh, there's quite a bit of dust in there. I'll clean that later. Alright. So once this top cover is off, we have to remove this shield over here. So I think it will lift up just like that. Or it has something like clips down here. I have to find out. So I'm gonna fast forward from here again. Okay, there we go. We got the access to the disk drive now. So now we have to figure out why in the world this disk drive is unable to spin the disk. So kind of makes sense right now. So let me go ahead and plug this thing in again and then test it out without having that top cover. Oh my god, this thing is completely messed up. Trying to blow out some air from here. Oh, so I'm gonna get the power code for this thing and I'll be right back when I plug this thing in. Alright, so I just tested something in off camera and it's unable to, it's really unable to spin the disc. I mean, the spindle kind of works. The spindle kind of works. Just eject that disc. Over here. Turn it off. Alright, so now let's go ahead and just take off this top cover from here. This for sure there's lots of dust in here. I'm gonna fast forward again from here. Alright, so I got the top cover out. Now it's time for me to turn this thing on again and then figure out what's going on exactly. Still it doesn't spin. What is wrong with this one? Let me see. Okay, let me just go ahead and clean that laser first. Let me go ahead and turn this off first. Alright, so I'll be right back when I get a cotton swab to clean this laser. Alright guys, I got the cotton swabs here. So now let me go ahead and soak this thing in with the isopropyl alcohol. So first of all, let me go ahead and unplug it first. Okay, so I got it soaked in with some isopropyl alcohol. Now I'm gonna just gently wipe it. Remove some dust. Alright, so the laser lens seems to be pretty cleaned. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plug this thing back in again and then test it out one more time. Alright, so we got it. I literally did not expect the cleaning worked out. So guys, as you can see, now the DVD is spinning. Oh my goodness. Now I got my Wii working again. So guys, I think I just have to clean up some dust and debris over here. So in that way the disk drive stays away from the dust. So I'm gonna take this whole assembly apart and then I'm gonna clean it off camera, and then I'm gonna come back again, reassemble it, and put all the Wii parts back together, and then hopefully this Wii will be working as far as it will work. So now let me go ahead and take that out. Alright, so now let me go ahead and remove this whole part by fast forwarding from here, and then after that I'll just clean it off camera, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back guys. So now it's time for me to take this whole assembly apart now. So let me go ahead and start off from here. Alright, so before I do that, let me go ahead and that screw really got stripped off. I was just really I was so scared at the moment. So yeah, anyways, since there is no wear, so now let me go ahead and just turn this thing off. I better just unplug it because, you know, if I do this work plugged in, so you know what's gonna happen. I can get myself electrocuted or something. Okay, now let's start off by let's place this top metal piece on top of it. So before we take this whole thing apart, hold on a sec. This sensor right here, I don't know where this ribbon cable is leading to. So even if I want to take this whole assembly and clean it off, I have to remove this top metal plate. So in that case, I'm going to keep it opened. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold on. Okay, so there is a screw hole right here, but there's no screw hole right here. So you know what that means. without this metal plate we cannot able to get this thing sensor uh, held down onto this assembly. So anyways, let's take a bit of a risk and do this work without any mistake. And remember guys, you have to gotta work so slow. Remember, slow is fast and fast is really slow while doing this work. Okay, so remember this thing. No panic, no excitement, so just work, just do your work in a very slow way, so in that way we can optimally get to a full-fledged result. There's quite a bit of black dust in there, so no wonder why the laser is not working. So anyways, since I cleaned this laser with some isopropyl alcohol, so now the laser is working. So now I guess I can able to lift this thing up from its frame also. Alright, so let's remove these two screws as well. Alright, so I hope you guys can see more clearly now. So anyways, let me go ahead and lift this thing. Okay, so it's lifting up from its frame. Alright, so we have to be extremely careful because there is one plug cable and another ribbon cable is holding on to this, so we have to be really careful with it. Alright, there we go. Now what we have to do is just disconnect this plug right here. There's a, as you guys can see here, there is a ribbon cable and a plug. The ribbon cable is probably for data reading, and this little plug right here is for power delivery, I guess. So let me go ahead and take this. Alright, so nice and smooth. It comes right off. Now it's time for the ribbon cable. Let me go ahead and do this with my spudger. Let me get my spudger. Alright, so there is a small latch over here. You have to lift it up with your spudger, nice and smooth. And there we go. And then it comes right off. Now the whole disk drive assembly is removed from the Wii motherboard. So now we have to clean this whole assembly, including the motherboard and everything right here. So in that way, I mean, I'm not gonna take this motherboard apart I'm not gonna take this thing apart any further because I don't want to mess up while doing this work, because if I lost any one of its screw, then it's gonna be a huge big mess. In that case, I gotta have to be very gentle at this moment, so in that way I can work very smoothly. Okay, so now with the whole disk drive assembly out of the way, now let's go ahead and start cleaning. So I'm gonna do this off camera. Once everything is cleaned up, I'll be right back. Alright guys, as you guys can see here, this is what the dust was stored inside of this Wii console, I mean inside the disk drive. So as you can see, I've used these many Q-tips to clean all the dust, and this is the quantity of the dust which was there inside the CD drive. So now the cleaning is done, and also I barely managed to clean somewhat of this console. So now I guess it's time for me to put this thing back all together now. Okay, first let me go ahead and get this disk drive assembled. So I'm gonna fast forward from here. Alright, so now it's time for me to put all these screws back together to make it hold down in place. Don't super tight all these screws, because that can damage the teeth of this screw right here. Alright, so I assembled the disk drive back into its place. So now it's time for me to put all these screws and then test it out whether it works. So I'm gonna fast forward from here again. Alright guys, I put all the screws back together now, and now it's time for me to test this thing out. Alright, it works. So I guess this Wii is all fixed and ready to go. So let me go ahead and assemble this thing fully, and then now this Wii will be working as a pretty much normal Nintendo Wii, even if it's modded or unmodded. Let me get that disc out. Alright, so now I'm gonna fast forward from here again. Alright, so now the top metal piece is back into its position. Now I guess now we can get this cover back into its place, but before that let's go ahead and just clean it with some Q-tip and isopropyl alcohol. Now everything is clean. So let's make sure that this case goes on nice and smooth. Alright, here we go. So remember, this side is going to be the Phillips head screws, and then this side is going to be tri-wing. So let me go ahead and put all those screws back in. Alright, so now each and every part is back together now. So now it's time for me to plug this front faceplate into here. I think it goes this way. Alright. Alright, so everything is back together now. Now we have a really good working Nintendo Wii here. Now let me go ahead and put this, before I put this CMOS battery in, let me go ahead and test the voltage of this battery right here. Let me set this thing to DC volts for about 20 volts. Positive and negative. That's strange. So it should output only 3 volts, but it's outputting more than 5 volts. That's very strange. Alright, there we go now. It's outputting only 3 volts, which is a good sign. Okay, so now let me go ahead and just put this all back together now. All right. Okay. Now we're all good. So now I guess it's time for me to plug this thing in, and let's have a bit of a gameplay of Super Mario Galaxy 2. Alright, so as you guys can see here, I set up everything over here. I also have my Wii remote with me right here. And also I have the Super Mario Galaxy 2 game right here. So now let me go ahead and turn the console on and just wait for the signal to come on right here. Alright, there we go. We have the health and safety screen. So now press A to continue. There we go. Alright, so now here we are on the Wii menu. So let me go ahead and put in my my favorite Super Mario Galaxy 2. There we go. It sounds better than before. Now just wait for it to come on the disc channel. Alright, there we go. We have the game showing up on the disc channel right here. So now let's go ahead and select that.
Super Mario Galaxy! Woohoo!
Alright, there we go. Alright, so there we have it. So there's no lag. Everything is working fine. The game is working just fine. Alright, so no problems at all. There is absolutely zero lag right here. And also, there's no bit of a latency. Some people reported that if the Wii's disk drive gets dirty, then you know what, it's gonna lag or end up with some latency or something like that. But turns out nothing is happening at all right here. So I mean, I can say that this Wii is working just fine. There is no lag, nothing at all. So yeah. Anyways, alright, so that's it with this gameplay, and now let me go ahead and switch back to my camera. Alright guys, as you guys can see here, this Nintendo Wii is all set and ready to go. And also, I did test this console with the other Wii games such as Super Mario Galaxy rather than the Super Mario Galaxy 2 that I just tested. And I also tested with the Mario Kart Wii and also the Wii Sports Resort as well. All the games are working just fine. Even the Wii Sports works just fine. So I guess it only needs cleaning to get the disk drive working. So that's all it needs. So yeah, I mean, as for the platform, Nintendo Wii has gone way too far in the market. Like this Nintendo Wii has beat the Sony PS3 and Xbox 360. I mean, the Nintendo Wii was the very successful game console in 2006. I mean, lots of million units were sold of this Nintendo Wii. And yeah, so this Nintendo Wii works just fine, and it's all ready to go. So I can't wait to play all the other Wii games on this thing, and also please subscribe to my channel because the upcoming videos I'm gonna post the gameplay videos of Mario Kart, the Super Mario Galaxy, and Galaxy 2 as well. So stay tuned for that, and also I'm gonna post both all those games in commentary and non-commentary as well. If you guys want to watch my gameplay videos without commentary, there will be a separate gameplay playlist, and also if you want to watch my gameplay with commentary, there's going to be another separate playlist for that as well on my YouTube page. So yeah, anyways, that's it with this video. I hope this video was very helpful to you guys to fix your Nintendo Wii by yourself if it has any disk drive issues or something like that. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications bell, so in that way you guys don't miss any new video updates from my channel. Thanks for watching, and I see you later with next video.